From the moment the ball soared into the air for Game 2, there was an electricity in the air that went far beyond the usual playoff buzz, a crackling tension that could only come from personal pride, unfinished business, and the high-stakes drama of revenge woven into every possession, every glance, every step on that hardwood battlefield. Damian Lillard, stepping onto the court for the first time since March 18th, didn't just arrive to play basketball, he arrived to make a statement, and it was clear he had no intention of whispering. In the days leading up to the game, Tyrese Halliburton stirred the pot, throwing subtle shots at Dame, hinting that Indiana wasn't just looking to win, they were aiming to humiliate, to break Milwaukee's spirit, and remind the Bucks who really ran this matchup. But if there's one thing the world should know about Damian Lillard by now, it's that he doesn't back down, he bites back. And what unfolded next wasn't just a response, it was a masterclass in precision, leadership, and vengeance. Game 1 was a disaster for the Bucks, with Giannis Antetokounmpo doing everything in his power by putting up 36 points while the rest of his team faded into the shadows. Kyle Kuzma in particular offered nothing, missing everything, looking more like a ghost than a contributor. The narrative heading into Game 2 was ruthless. The Bucks were broken, Dame was finished, and Milwaukee might as well start planning their summer. But all it took was one look at Lillard's eyes at tip-off to know that storyline was about to be rewritten in fire. Right out of the gate, he wasn't rushing, wasn't forcing, just reading the court like a chessboard, picking his spots, and when the crowd tried to shake him with heckles, Dame responded the only way he knows how, by letting his game speak louder than any jeer. First shot? Pure. Second? Money. Third? You already know. This wasn't a comeback, it was a reawakening. And for everyone who doubted, it was a rude awakening. Indiana came prepared too, and make no mistake, they brought the heat. Pascal Siakam lit up the scoreboard early, setting a relentless tone, and Miles Turner became a two-way terror, swatting shots and sinking threes like he was built in a lab for playoff basketball. The Pacers looked dialed in, confident, and for most of the first half, they kept Milwaukee on the ropes, dictating the pace and punishing mistakes. Halliburton, despite shooting struggles, proved why he's a floor general in every sense, orchestrating plays with precision, threading passes through tight gaps, and dishing dimes that left defenders spinning. Yet for all his brilliance, you could feel it in the air. He wanted more than assists, he wanted to take down Lillard, to outshine the man known for shining brightest under pressure. But he didn't. Not even close. Because once Damian Lillard found his rhythm, the floor tilted in Milwaukee's favor, and there was no turning back. He danced with the ball, stepped back into shots from absurd distances, and turned the arena into his own personal stage, each three-pointer a thunderclap, each stare-down a storm warning. Halliburton tried to respond, but Dame's counters were always louder, colder, and far more lethal. When he buried that deep jumper with Tyrese in his grill and didn't say a word, just stared, it was a mic drop without the mic. That fire spread. Giannis began to dominate again, bulldozing defenders, absorbing contact, and finishing at the rim like a man on a mission, while Brook Lopez turned the paint into a no-fly zone, denying entry with authority. Bobby Portis brought the energy, the spark, the snarling grit that makes Milwaukee's bench a weapon in itself. Suddenly, the Bucks weren't chasing, they were charging. Still, the Pacers didn't roll over. Nesmith nailed a crucial triple, Mathurin stepped up with fearless bench production, and every time Milwaukee looked poised to pull away, Indiana clawed their way back, trading blows, refusing to fold. But momentum in basketball is like gravity. Once it shifts, it's impossible to stop. And with each Lillard dagger, that shift became more permanent, more painful for the Pacers. Tensions boiled. Gary Trent Jr. and Siakam got tangled, benches rose, whistles blared, and for a moment it felt less like basketball and more like a battleground. Yet in the center of the storm, the eye remained still, Damian Lillard, unbothered, unshaken, unmoved. Then came the moment, Halliburton at the line, crowd roaring, and from the backcourt, Lillard watching, no taunts, no theatrics, just a presence so powerful it rattled cages without a single word. And when Dame hit another step-back three on the next possession, it was like he looked straight through Halliburton and into the heart of every doubter who wrote him off. What makes Lillard special isn't just the shooting, it's his feel for the moment. He knew when to push, when to pass, when to let Giannis go to work, when to spread the floor and pull defenders away. He wasn't chasing stats, he was conducting a symphony of timing, spacing, and trust, and he had the entire Pacers defense dancing to his tune. By the final quarter, Indiana was exhausted, physically, mentally, emotionally. Their legs were heavy, their decisions rushed, their shots forced. Siakam started missing the ones he usually hits. Turner's touch faded. Halliburton looked more like a shadow than a star. Meanwhile, Lillard walked the ball up like he owned the building, letting the clock drip down, then pulling up like it was a casual shoot-around and dropping daggers that didn't just end possessions, they ended hope. With the final buzzer, the scoreboard told a simple story: Bucks win. Series tied. But the real story was written between those numbers, in the glances, the grit, and the sheer will of a man who refused to be counted out. This wasn't just Dame time. It was a public service announcement: I'm still here. Still dangerous. Still cold-blooded. And for Tyrese Halliburton, consider the warning delivered. So what's your take? Did Damian Lillard officially shut the critics down? Or is this just the beginning of an all-out war between two rising East rivals? Hit that comment section, smash the like button, and subscribe for more next-level NBA coverage. Because if this is how Game 2 went down, you better believe this series is far from over.